Caruso runs a break. Caldwell Pope goes to the wing here. James! Oh!
Trying to play at the defensive end. Got blown by back.
Oh, yes!
Hook jam!
Harden, step back. Puts up the three. Got hit. Shot's good! And one!
Back this time here, Steph.
Oh, Russell Westbrook!
Last time I spoke to you all, I was speaking hypothetically. If the Nuggets was going to beat the Clippers, which came to fruition, and that happened. So we got the Nuggets versus the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals, to which the Lakers made quick work of the Nuggets. It was sadness I say this, but the Lakers are going to win the NBA championship. I didn't believe this coming into the season. Didn't want to. You know, the odds, they was one of the odds-on favorite to win this championship, but I didn't want this to happen. But these Laker boys are going. They on a mission. These Lakers are on a mission. They are not taking no for an answer. LeBron James is on a mission, hell bent on getting this championship. Oh my God. You know, I wouldn't be so upset if my friend George wasn't so much of a Laker fan, and I know he's gonna run his yap. I know he's gonna run that yapper to me if they win the championship, because oh boy, the storyline behind this season for the Lakers, if they win, or when they win, I should say, oh my God, it's the what LeBron been posting all year, talking about the Wash King. We laughed at him for not making the playoffs last year, even though he got hurt in this 27 games. You know, they traded all the young players. People were talking about that the young players was better than Anthony Davis. And, they got a bunch of misfits on the team. They picked up J.R. Smith. They picked up Dion Waiters. You know, Danny Green has been a no-show for most part of the playoffs. You know, Dwight Howard is shenanigans, dyeing his hair blue, purple, whatever he want to, Dragon Ball Z character he want to imitate now. It's just, oh my God. The storyline, through all of that, they found a way to make it and push through the playoffs, and with grit and determination. Only taking one loss in each round. Only one loss, going 12-3 in the playoffs so far, which the Heat is doing right now, or did as well. But the way the Lakers been doing it, golly, it's, whoo, Lord, this, oh God, LeBron James is not playing this year, and you know, he has, you know, when they win this championship, he has every right to talk, because we all, including myself, doubted that they would be in this position, doubted they'd be able to get it together, be able to be focused to win this championship, but they somehow managed. I mean, because you look at the circumstances they faced going into the bubble, you know, they lost Avery Bradley because he didn't want to participate due to concerns with his son and his health with COVID. Dwight Howard didn't want to go into it because he didn't believe it, and I don't know what Dwight Howard was doing. Rondo was hurt for the most part, and LeBron, you know, he's been the forefront of these social justice movement with the NBA, and this is also like one of the first playoffs in a while that LeBron James hasn't went 0 Dark 30 on social media, because he's still kind of active on social media, just not as much, but still kind of active on social media, and he's just been on a tear. You know, it's not the usual LeBron playoff performance we used to, where he's dropping like 30 almost every game and giving us mostly triple doubles, but he's been doing it for at least the most important parts of these playoffs, and AD has been putting in work. But man, you know, let's talk about the series itself, because I'm ready over here, you know, start to get hot flashes and start, you know, losing my mind, because this is not what I predicted. You know, that my Pacers let me down, you know, the Rockets let me down, Big Y let me down. The last hope of defense was Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic and the Nuggets, and they didn't stop him. The Pacers was on the Eastern Conference. I really didn't expect much from them, but the rest of them teams, God, let me down. You know, the last 5 minutes of Game 5 showed me that LeBron was really, really determined, because, I mean, granted, they was already up by 12, but LeBron James scored back-to-back possessions on his own, and it just showed, like, the grit that he just the determination that he really want this championship. He just really want this championship because also you got to think too, Kobe died this year. And a lot of the mindsets of these players on this team and the coach staff is showing that Mamba mentality. I seen it in the press conference, in the post-game conference where they got awarded the Western Conference championship trophy. They didn't care. They said, job's not done. We ain't done yet. We ain't got to the finals yet. We ain't won the Larry O'Brien trophy yet. The job's not done. That's very similar to what Kobe Bryant was saying. That's actually what got George hooked on to Kobe in the first place in the 2010 NBA Finals when Kobe won, I think, the first game, and he's like, job's not done. So I feel like they've been watching a lot of that film and have been really trying to absorb that Mamba mentality and trying to do this for him, which would be a great way to celebrate and uplift his name and the Laker legacy by winning the championship. Because it's the first time in a decade that the Lakers even been to the NBA Finals. Last time they was there was with Kobe Bryant when they won. And the mentality, the leadership that LeBron James just has on this team, for them all to be so focused like this, and God, it's just scary, man. It's scary because I didn't want this to happen. I didn't. I wanted to be the Clippers in the Western Conference Finals, and maybe they would have beat them. But the way the Clippers was playing throughout this playoffs and their issues, it didn't happen. We're gonna get to them later, but let's talk about the Lakers still. LeBron has been letting AD do most of the work this playoffs for the most part. He even let him hit the clutch shot in Game 2. I was watching something. They was talking about how LeBron, back in, I think it was it was in Cleveland, how he said, "I'll be damned if Kyrie take this last shot over me." And we see in LeBron James, who is able to defer, these last clutch moments to an Anthony Davis, who hit that clutch three. Who was it over? I think it was over Grant. It was over Grant or somebody like that. And he hit that clutch three, which, from the way he released it, I knew it was going in. I didn't want it to go in. I sound like a Laker hater, don't I? It's really only because of my friend. That's the only reason why I don't like him, y'all. I really don't. I can care less about Lakers like that. I have Laker gear in my own. I have a Kobe Bryant jersey. I have an old Laker warm-up that my father gave me. I have Laker gear. And I have no problem with it. But it's just, oh, God. Yeah, it's like, I'm a Cowboys fan myself. It's like the Cowboys of the NBA. So, the fan base is just annoying sometimes, especially in moments like this. But, back to the point. LeBron's been averaging, in the last series, 27 points, 10 rebounds, 9 assists, and he finished the last game on triple-double with 38 points, 16 rebounds, and 10 assists. While Anthony Davis, been, like I said, he's been doing most of the workload with the points, averaging 31.2 points, only coming in on 6.2 rebounds. There were some games in this series where he really didn't even rebound as much, and he got to do better than that if they really want to win the championship in the next round. Game 3, he had 2 rebounds. Game 4, he had 5 rebounds. Okay, you're in the middle, but come on, you're Anthony Davis. You're a top 5 player. You should be averaging more. Game 5, he also had 5 rebounds. Both of them, though, however, shot over 50% from the field. Both of them. The efficiency that this team has been playing on and through these two players has been ridiculous. KCP has been showing up in that series. Rondo is playing phenomenal as well. He's been a big lift for the team since he came back in the second round. These Lakers are just, man. I don't want to. I guess okay. I can give them the power. They playing good. They playing very well, determined, very focused. They look like they can win this NBA championship. We'll get into the competition, but let's talk about what the Nuggets what happened to the Nuggets in this past series. Being down 3-1, I joked about this. I'm saying, or I said that with them being down 3-1, they probably one of the only teams ever that when being down 3-1, their odds probably go to the roof because these past 2 series they've been down 3-1. But if you really look at it though, with them being down 3-1 as constant as they have, they've been playing and played more games than anybody in this whole entire playoffs have played, because they played 14 games in the last 2 series. Plus this, which would have been 19 games on top of, because they lost in Game 5. They played more games than anybody in the entire playoffs. So they're fatigued. They are a young team, but even playing all these minutes, Jokic and Murray are like the top two in postseason minutes this entire playoffs because of them playing those extra games. So the fatigue, you can definitely see it set in on this team, and the Lakers just they were just so focused, and Dwight Howard, trying to get in the head of Jokic in some of these games. Him and JaVale McGee over laughing at Jokic talking about Thanksgiving, this messing with him and whatnot. They just been so focused. Jamal Murray, who's been playing phenomenal throughout this playoffs, and who has shown, one of my biggest critiques of him, and one of many critiques, including his own coach, was his consistency. And he's been very, very consistent throughout these playoffs, which is something, that I felt that if he wanted to be a top player or be that guy on that team, he needed to be more consistent. And he was definitely consistent in his playoffs. But in the last game, he got injured. He hurt his leg. And he still finished with 19 points and 8 assists. But, for them to win and to come back, they needed him to be there. Jokic was always that constant heartbeat. Just, he was going to be there regardless. He was always there to keep that team in the game. And shout out to Jeremy Grant, too. Jeremy Grant, he's been playing phenomenal. Especially, you see a trend when players come up on the end of their contracts, they start playing a little bit better. I can't say I necessarily don't like that because, they try and get their money, but you wish that they play like that all the time. But he's been playing very well in these playoffs and showing off. He finished with 20 points and 9 rebounds in Game 5. Like I said, this is the last year of his contract. He's planning to decline his play option. He could be worth between $14 million to $16 million out on the free agency market per year, I should say. Not total, but $14 to $16 million per year. So he's looking to get a good contract if he gets one from any team. The Nuggets, really going to the series with the Lakers, there wasn't. I may have wanted them to win, but there really wasn't any expectation for this team to actually beat the Lakers. Like I said, with the way the Lakers have been playing throughout the playoffs and just the mindset this team is having, the story that goes into the Lake that's been going with the Lakers, I really didn't expect them to beat them, but they showed promise. Last year they lost in Game 7 in the semis. This year they lost in Game 5 in the Western Conference Finals to what's probably going to be the eventual champions. This team can possibly be in that position to win an NBA championship within the next 2 to 3 years. It's very, very, very much possible that this team can do it. They all stay together. Will Barton, who is a crucial player on that team, who was a starter before he went out with injury, he wasn't even playing this whole playoffs. Last year they didn't have Michael Porter Jr. This year they had him, but they didn't have Will Barton. So this team, they develop more. You're going to have Jokic, who's going to probably turn, I think he turns 25 next year. If not 26, Jamal Murray, who's going to turn 24. Keep those guys together. Michael Porter Jr., this is really his first year playing with the team. So he's going to next year. I mentioned Jeremy Grant. I don't know if he'll stay or not. Gary Harris still got him. Got all these players coming back. Eventually this team could possibly win an NBA championship. And they showed with their play style, because Jokic is the best center in the league. He's the best center in the league. Jamal Murray continues to be consistent, continue to be that guy and play like he did throughout these playoffs. And Michael Porter Jr. keeps ascending. That's a three-headed monster right there. That's that they gonna eventually be the team to be in the West once all these other teams, start to wither off and their players get old.